All right. Have you guys ever wondered what 50 Team of the Week packs brings you? Hopefully, there's going to be some good pulls in here, but we're just going to start ripping. I've just been grinding a lot of these over the past day or so while doing the kind of infinite menu grind. Um, totally was getting super lazy with it, though, is why I just started doing these Team of the Week packs because at the end of the day, you have the chance to pull something cool. It'd be great if I pulled like an Mbappe or something. But also, you're going to be able to take these and put them into the upgrades. So basically, if it's not a walkout, I'm skipping. I might even start to just skip the walkouts just so you can get an idea. Lots of 84s and 85s are going to pop, but I don't think it's super uncommon for you to be able to get walkouts. And even if you're getting an 85, that's eligible to then go in and upgrade. So if you want to use these in your upgrades, I have no problem with that. I'm using the 84s and 85s every single day to just make sure that I am refilling the club, but instead of using team of the seasons, I'm using the team of the weeks where those are applicable. Obviously, every SPC, that's not the case. You can't use them on every single one. There are some that are team of the season specific, but I tend to be staying away from those a lot of the time, like the one today. With the player pick, you're able to use either one. I did use a team of the week. I had some higher rated ones, and you can see here we're just filling it up with 85. So even if you have terrible pack luck and you're just hitting an 85 every time, every 4 packs you're gonna have another upgrade. And that's the beauty of this grind, is that you can kind of offshoot it if you don't want to do player picks. You can do the 77 by 5s. You can do these. And you're gonna find some gems in here that are really good for current evos and things. I'm probably gonna do a little bit of a deep dive after I'm done, and you can see here we get a walkout, but it is a goalkeeper. So at that point, we really don't care anymore. Um, but you can see we're just blasting through them. And it's no surprise that the pack week's terrible and getting insane team of the weeks, but I have got like Hansen and things out of the team of the week upgrades before, so it's nothing shocking if you do end up being able to get a good pack pull. It just seems to be my odds right now are just 85s endlessly over and over and over again. But at the end of the day, can just recycle, so it's not really that big of a deal. I'm gonna have an insane amount though, because I think I already had like 10 plus team of the weeks. We can kind of do a little show afterwards. Maybe we'll even throw together a little squad for you to just get an idea of the best pulls. But really, so far, nothing to write home about. There is our first duplicate. It only took, what was it, 11 packs, I think? Yeah, 11 packs in, we finally hit our first duplicate. And we can get a walkout. It is a lady. English striker. I have no clue who to even guess, because this could be as low as an 86, or this could be super high rated. And it's an 86 again. So you can see here the pack luck's not been great so far, but we're not even halfway through the packs. But I wouldn't mind getting, even though I just put my gold Mbappe into an evolution yesterday, I wouldn't mind to get another Mbappe or anything like that. That's going to be, a crazy pull. But I think this just stimulates the menu grind, especially if they're going to release repeatable SBCs in the future that are endlessly repeatable that can take team of the weeks or team of the seasons. I think this is going to be super helpful if that becomes the case. Is this going to be Captain America? It is. So our first good pull is 88 Pulisic, which I haven't really used Pulisic cards too far this year. We can take a look-see here. Nothing crazy. Just standard team of the week prices. That's because they'll drop that tradable one every so often. It might even be fully repeatable now. I'm not sure. The dupes are starting to pile in though, so you can see that this potentially could be another one of the methods where if you have a lot of packs, you don't necessarily get the best rewards. We're going to get someone from the Scottish Premiership. And this was the nice thing about Team of the Week, is they did raise the ratings as the season went on for everyone basically. So you get some fun cards like that necessarily you'd never use a card like that at all. Sorry about the background noise. I think that is my dishwasher. But either way, just ripping these packs, just going through it, trying to knock out. Just getting them open, because it can be such a task to just sit there and open packs sometimes. I've kind of given up the bronze and silver part of my grind just because I have so many coins sitting around that I've been using. And as well as it's almost infinite. It's not quite infinite, the grind right now, especially if you're diligent with it and not lazy like I've been, where I ran through those 50, 83 by 20s over the past few days. And that allowed me to do icon picks and things like that. So I was able to get some good pulls. You know, I have Maldini now and I have Vieira that I'm looking at. Trying to juice them up a little bit if possible with some Evos and get them into the team because I think they're going to be good cards that have some longevity, especially if we can get some good Evos on them. Because both of them are 94 rated, so we're getting close to that point where we might have some good Evos. I'm also throwing some playstyles on currently. I actually just got done with the Vieira one where I added a playstyle on him. I think my squad is going to fully become Shapeshifter and Icon here soon. I don't think a lot of the team this seasons are going to have that extra little juice that I need them to have. You can see here we now have a right back that was a walkout. So we're slowly just chipping away and away and away at these. Trying to do our best to get some good pulls here. But about halfway in, figured I'd have more duplicates by now because I figured this was kind of on a set rotation. But we're basically halfway through. We've gotten at least 3 or 4 88s. I don't think I've gotten an 89 or higher yet. But all it takes is one pack. You know, you could open 3 of these and you could have better pack luck than I'm having. You could open 300 and have worse pack luck than I'm having. At the end of the day, I think it's just going to be nice to have some higher rated ones in there for future SBCs that require Team of the Weeks. But really excited to see kind of what sort of SBC direction they go in once the exchanges are gone again. They might just keep re-releasing them or alternate between different versions of them like they were doing at the beginning. We'll have to see what they come up with as far as those go. But I would think we're starting to get closer and closer to the time where we're going to have the infinitely repeatable one. They might wait till footies. That's also why I'm trying to keep at least like a mil or two worth of coins, but I'm not afraid to dwindle them down some more. We do have a French. Is this going to be Dembele? Because that would be a nice pull to have, but I don't think the hairstyle is him. It could be like Duore. It is Douay. So that might be a saucy little pull here. Nothing crazy, but you can see he's definitely worth more than others. 4-star, 4-star. He can play both sides. So potentially a card I might actually keep around just for an Evo. He might feel Dembele-like. Also, I think Dembele would be a sick pull there. But you can see there is the potential for you to get some cards that still have a value, whether it's for Evos or they're just rare. It's also a great way if you run like a past and present squad or a certain theme team. This is a great way to try to just get old Team of the Weeks that you might have missed out on when they were in packs. I know what I did with a few of my Aubameyangs. I went back and bought the Team of the Week so that I have more evolvable versions. Which now I'm currently sitting on like 3 or 4 different versions of Aubameyang in my club. And I accidentally skipped the walkout, so we're not going to get to see who it is until they're fully out. Not even going to try to pronounce that name, but don't know if he's actually good enough to even make the starting lineup. We'll have to see here when we get through this all, and I'll have to remember to not include Hansen. She was the only high-rated one that I had previously. The rest were all like 85s, 84s. And I'm sure if you wanted to, you could go back through and you could make a list of every single rating to get a better idea of kind of what we're looking at when it comes to the pack weights. I know there's also some websites out there that give you the probability on packing certain ratings and things like that, because I feel like I've been getting 85s more than anything else, not even 84s. I feel like I'm going to have more 85s than 84s, but watch me jinx it now and just get 15 84s in a row. One of the biggest surprises to me as well is I don't even know if I'm going to be able to field a full team. I haven't been paying attention to the positions enough unless they're walkouts, so we might have a little bit of a ragtag squad that I'm going to throw together here at the end. He's hitting the 3-pointer to the dome. There's also some really cool dynamic images you're going to see doing this as well. Some of them won't load, some of them won't have dynamics that are very good. but I know there's a few gems. Like one of my favorite dynamic images is my Immortals Bale, the prime version of it, where he's making the heart, and so then he does the goal celebration, and it all just comes full circle. Is one of the better ones. But here we go, about to be into the final 10, and we can kind of keep track here with how many walkouts we got at the end of this as well, to kind of get an idea out of 50 what you're roughly looking at. And you can always mix these with player picks as well. There's no right or wrong way to be doing the grind right now. You basically have endless options to be going with. You can be spending, 2-3K a pop on the 85s to be doing that method. You can be just throwing everything in there. I know there's some people that are throwing literally everything in there. They're only focused on packing the high end shapeshifters. Is this going to be for about 2 seconds? I was like, is this going to be Van Dyke? It is not. Some good playstyles on Dammers, though. We got 7 left to go. Striker. Is this gonna be I'm not even gonna try to guess though. It is who I think it's gonna be. I can't think of her name now off the top of my head. It was on the tip of my tongue. Pop, yeah. With the 78 pace, don't think she's gonna make the squad, but you never know. Might put her in there on the bench. So we can see, this hasn't been anything crazy from 50, but like I said, I built these last night in maybe like 30 minutes. It did not take long at all to fill up my club. This is going to be the guy, he has a team this season. Gyökeres is, I'm assuming, how you're going to say it. This is the star version of him. I wonder if this was one of his first ones. You can see he's got a little bit of a value again, but he does have better cards out. As well, sometimes you're going to run into cards might be really good for Evos, but they're not going to get that much out of the Evo besides like one thing that's really going to help them. So like I know one of my Aubameyangs I threw into a Evo here that I actually have to go through and complete still, but he's really not going to get much of a passing upgrade, so his passing's pretty lacking for a forward at this point in the game cycle, but the rest of his stats are going to be crazy. So I think the next Evo for that, I really need to focus in on a passing upgrade. And it won't matter if he's not getting a pace boost or a shooting boost or a passing boost or a new play style or anything like that. But here we go into the final Team of the Week pack. Will we end on a walkout? We will. Will we end on a banger? The fact that it's Serie B KT means probably not. Is this going to be the guy from Sassuolo that's got a... Oh, no, it's Berardi. I thought it was going to be, in my head, that was French. The guy that got the Team of the Season. But so we've got a little bit of a Team of the Week situation here now. Obviously there were some dupes, but let's see if we can field a big squad. You can see me doing some Evos there. And we'll call this Team of the Weeks. So we'll just keep it in the 4-4-2 for simplicity's sake. So the main one we can't use is Hansen, but so we know we're going to use you. We know we're going to use you. We know we're going to use you. We're going to use you. And I think we're going to use both of these for starters, for sure. And we can always tweak the position if we're struggling to finish filling out the team. So let's take a look here. I think I want to lean towards him on the strikers for now, and we can always mix it up. 3-star, 5-star is a bit crazy, but we're going to go with it. So let's see what we got midfielder-wise. I have an Evo version of this guy, so we're definitely going to use him, and I might actually get rid of my Evo version for that one. So not a lot of midfielders to choose from. There is a Scott McTominay chilling, so just for the name alone, we're going to throw him in. Center backs. Let's check the left back situation, but I might end up using Guardiola. Yeah, I think I like this guy. I think we're going to go him there. Which then means we can go Guardiola there. And now we can look at what we got left. So we can just go by rating for the first few. I think Ant-Man's got to make the team. But you can see here an insane amount of 85s. Do we have space for one more? We do. So we'll leave it there. We'll look and see if there's any gyms that we're missing out on that could potentially be in the lineup. I don't think anyone was going to stick out to me more than anyone else here. But you can see I didn't even get that many 84s. Mostly 85s. There's a crazy amount of them. But that just repeats the grind then. If I wanted to take all my 85s and throw them in, I could. You can see here we do have almost enough for... Oh no, we do have enough for an 88. And then obviously we can do some 86s. I think the rarest rating was the 89s and 87s. And obviously I didn't get anything higher than the 89. So I would say the marquee pull is probably Doué. Or some would say Pulisic. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully if you guys want to do a big binge session of these as well, hopefully it turns out a little bit better. But I think there's definitely some cards in here that could be evilable. I also might just goof off and throw them all into SBCs again. We'll have to see what ends up happening with them. But thanks for watching. Peace.